Hey y'all, what's up? It's Noelle with Baker's Backyard Bounty, and Lily and I are out here on this super cold, what day is today? Thursday morning, just checking on all of the plants. So last night we had a hard freeze. There is ice on the toys. We woke up to ice, just beautiful frost covering the lawn and all the plants. So we're checking on everything today. So everything looks pretty good. I did lose my bush beans, my dragon tongue beans. Although there were some fruit that set there, I didn't harvest them in time, so the beans are all mushy now. But you live and you learn. I'll let it go. What else did we check on? Pretty much everything else is really holding up. I'm super stoked about that. The collard greens look amazing. The snap peas even look really good. So I'm learning more and more about like what is frost tolerant and what is not. So what I can do better for the fall garden next year. One thing though that has really gotten me excited is some things are sprouting. So I planted a bunch of greens like mustard and spinach and Swiss chard just to try and get some baby greens. I just keep trying to get this like wave of greens, like just a push of baby greens so that we can keep having salads and greens in like our soups. And they're sprouting, so what that has me thinking about or just like meditating on today is the word potential. Like a tiny seed, a tiny carrot seed. They're so small, y'all. We harvested our first carrot the other day, and it's like that tiny seed can turn into something that's super nourishing and abundant, and that gives life to our family. So I'm not sure like where that word will take me today, but I'll keep you guys posted on what potential holds for today. And then as I'm out here just roaming the yard, I think about the potential of what we're going to do this spring. So that's something that the winter gives us, is time to rest and really plan. And we've been working on our garden plans for what feels like weeks now, just trying to come up with how we can get the most bounty out of our small space. So like as I sit here on these just cinder blocks, they're kind of ugly right now just sitting here, I dream about planting the onions and the okra and the tomatoes that are gonna really pop with color and flavor this summer. And so it's fun just to meditate on potential, and when you're kind of in a waiting period or limbo, you can't quite go yet, which for me is what the winter feels like. You know, it's a beautiful time to just really sit with that of the dream and the vision, and then being intentional on taking steps to bring that to fruition when the time's right. So, and this morning I had the honor of rocking both of my children as they drink their bottles, and it was just like thinking about, you know, their little seedlings too, and what they're going to grow into and what their gifts and talents will be. You know, parenting is hard. It's really hard. You just like really don't want to screw them up too bad. But if I get into a space where I can just like trust that my kids are going to unfold, right? And like just create those environments and like love and teach them compassion and just prayer, you know, like really just honor that God knit them together, and that, you know, they're they're already knitted in perfect imperfection. And so all I have to do is just keep them alive and teach them some lessons about sharing and watch their little personalities unfold. And it's just such a joy and an honor to do that. So I'm nurturing lots of little seedlings at the moment, mustard seeds and children. So having young kiddos means that I do a lot of things at night after bedtime. So it is about 7:20. Lily just got in bed and I am about to get baking. What I'm going to be baking tonight are some really special cakes. It's my grandmother's famous rum cake recipe. She makes these for, or she's always made these for family friends and gifts, and it just has a really special place in my heart, the taste of her rum cake. So I'm going to be making them for our neighbors tonight. We live on a cul-de-sac and just want to spread some holiday cheer. And I have my little reindeer helper. Can you show them your Rudolph outfit? My reindeer helper Zozo. So we'll see how this goes. I've been collecting bunt pans. This is what we make the rum cake in. I have these two groovy vintage bunt pans that I'm really excited to use. I've just gotten these, I think, at like garage sales or maybe a thrift store, but I'm ready to break them in for the Christmas season. As I think about, the holiday season and just being really intentional with preserving traditions like this rum cake, right? Like, I could go out and buy some cookies for sure, but there's something just nostalgic and romantic to me about making my grandmother's recipe and having just the flavors that I grew up with. So I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. Tonight we took Lily around the neighborhood just looking at Christmas lights, and although our neighborhood was kind of a dud this season, for her it was just magic. Like, she'd point out the one house on the street that had lights and we'd go down it and find it, and she'd point out the other one and go, oh wow, and like, it's just so magical to see Christmas through her eyes, and not taking things for granted. So that's just something special as a parent that I get to experience this year. But talking about traditions, we as a species really thrive on ritual. Like, from the beginning of time, we have really honored these rituals. And as we evolve and technologies come into play, we have less and less of these rituals just due to convenience, right? Like, we don't have time for that, or we're too busy, or it's too much work, or whatever it may be. But it's really important to me to think about, like, tying in ritual into my family life. And for us, holidays are that, but within the holidays even, I remember, like, no matter what was going on in my life growing up, I knew that Christmas Eve we'd be at my grandmother's and we'd be going to midnight mass. Like, those things were just like kind of touchstones. Or I knew I'd get to see my cousins that day and play with our Barbies. Like, just those small things, those small traditions and rituals really carry us through the year and give us something to look forward to and some sense of security. And it's never too late to start a ritual. So this year, that's really what I'm thinking about, is what kind of rituals, what kind of touchstones do I want to create for the holiday season for my girls. I wish you guys could smell this kitchen. It smells divine. So I'm letting my cake sit. Gonna poke some holes, pour some melted butter and rum and sugar, and just let it absorb and soak. And then hopefully do a little taste test and make sure I have it right. But thank you guys for hanging out with us. May you find the bounty in your own life and all the beauty that it holds. Until next time.